Today, we're talking to a barber that makes $300,000 a month by teaching other barbers how to see success through social media.
I think I was at highest, maybe like 140 cash collected on my own, just running it as me as the closer. Right now, currently, we're doing anywhere between 250 to 300K cash collected a month right now.
Now, we covered a ton of stuff in this episode, but one of the biggest themes was how to go from a scrappy entrepreneur to a legit CEO and building a company that people actually want to be a part of.
What are we really building here? You know, to me, it just felt like after I got to a level, it's like, all right, I have a job still. Let me actually transform myself into CEO of the company.
All that coming up in today's episode of the podcast. Okay, super quick disclaimer for you watching on YouTube. The video version of Daniel's camera from Zoom got absolutely destroyed. It's very laggy, but the audio still is perfect. So you'll still be able to listen to this, get a ton of value out of this, and still be able to take notes. So that's it. Just want to let you know it's not your computer, it's the Zoom recording. All that out of the way, let's jump to the episode. The way I like to start these out is just like what is your offer specifically and what is the price point?
Sure. So we help barbers scale to 15, 20K a month. We do that through obviously helping them like organically on Instagram, generating new clients in their business. This can be barbers who are in a barber shop, solo studio, cutting out like a spare room in their house or apartment, or even like guys who are cutting their garage as well too. Our price point currently is at 6,800.
Nice. And so I guess just curious of that story, like how I'm assuming you were a barber and, you know, you kind of went through the journey and you built. So like go back to when you were a barber and like, just curious about some of that.
Yeah, I mean, so I started cutting hair in 2012 with my senior year in high school. And it was kind of just something I did to make some money, honestly, on the side. Because, I mean, like, I guess like a short story, like I was terrible in school, like kind of like I was in high school, in a high school that was like a college prep high school. Our graduating class had like 197 students, and then I was ranked 193 or 194 out of 197. So it wasn't the best in school. And I just remember vividly, like, you know, what time and when everyone's like, you know, getting their college acceptance letters. I didn't even apply for college, and so I'm seeing everybody like get all excited. I'm like, oh, well, first of all, can I cuss on here or no?
Yeah, that's fine. You're good.
Okay, cool. I was like, oh, I think I on this thing, right? Because like, everybody's having this experience. I'm just kind of sitting there by myself in class. I'm like, wow, did I just kind of miss the bus on something? Did I kind of like some up? And so I got out of college. I mean, got out of high school. I was going to go to community college, play baseball in Sacramento, California. And like, obviously I need to make some money. So I was cutting hair on the side overall. Went to community college, didn't pan out. Like I honestly went to a small high school, thought it was really good, but then went to a college and saw what actual good baseball players were. I'm like, yeah, I'm not for this thing whatsoever. So stopped playing baseball my second year in college and kind of just dropped out. At that point in time, I was living in my parents' house, and my parents basically told me like, look, dude, like you can't, I was working valet at the time. So I was doing a valet job, and they're like, look, you can't just work valet and like just chill here. You got to be like working towards something. And so it was like right after a week after I dropped out of high school, out of community college, I was like, you know what? I've been doing this barbering thing. I was cutting up some guys. He had a all right clientele, was making some decent money. Might as well enroll in barber college. Did that in like 3 months. I enrolled in barber college, graduated, was in my first shop. So it's like a quick turnaround, right? And then for 2 years, man, I really hated cutting hair. I was struggling. I was making like 2 or 3K a month. And this was like, I was charging $16 a cut. Thought like this is gonna be the rest of my life. I was kind of coming to this realization, like, dude, what am I even gonna do? Like to support a family, buy a house, have kids, you know, like even just live life overall outside my parents' house. And I kind of like did that for 2 years. And then, you know, I had this realization, like, dude, I'm not even like really applying myself to barber. I'm kind of just being like playing a victim mode, kind of sulking around, like, what was me? Let me just apply myself to this thing. Like, and I just kind of gave myself an ultimatum in 2016. I was like, I'm gonna give myself 3 years. If I just do everything I need to do in 3 years, if nothing changes at the very end of it, I'm gonna be happy with it. But I can't live with myself if I didn't like at least take that shot of applying myself, focusing on the business, trying to figure out how to grow this thing. And then 3 years, I went from charging $16 to 150 a cut in Sacramento, California. Built up my social media following from like sub 1,000 followers all the way to like over 100, I think 190K followers at the point in time. And of course, like I had a lot of people in the industry and a lot of barbers ask me like what I was doing, because like, you know, especially in Sacramento, California, it's not a place known for like charging the most. When I was there, like the barber who charged the most amount for a haircut was like $40. So everybody's like, how are you doing this? What are you doing? Like, what's the secret? Like, and so like when I first started off coaching, or not really coaching, but I started off with like a one-off like program, like for $200, just showing barbers how to do social media, right? And I did that for, you know, a good couple months, had some success, but like the one real success I had was this one kid who was an 18-year-old kid out in South Bay, LA, right? And he had lots of good success in the short time frame, getting new clients, raising his prices, making more money because we were working one-on-one. And I was like, huh, okay. So I have all these people, I had like over 200, 300 people in like this low ticket program, but like one really had good results. Let me just like see where this goes. Again, like kind of like had like I was dating a girl at the time, and she was like, listen, nobody's gonna like, no barber wants to like scale up their business. I don't think you should be doing this. You should look like, you really go with marketing. You should run a marketing agency. So for some odd reason, I listened to her, and I kind of just went in.
No.
Yeah, dude, I like dropped the whole thing, and I was like, all right, let me try a marketing agency. Tried that for like, I gave it a good go, dude. Honestly, I tried that for like 10 months, right? I think I only got 2 clients off that. And I was like dead broke at the time. Like my bank account was in the negatives. I was like, okay, this isn't working. Like, and I just remember there was this one entrepreneur in Sacramento. I met up with him for lunch, and I was just in a very low moment. I'm like, dude, just help me, give me some advice. And it was like some of the most life-changing advice at that point in time for me. It was like, create a product or program where you serve and create the most amount of value for people. And I was like, he was just like, where can you provide the most amount of value to a segment or a market of people? And I was like, barbers. And it was like no brainer. Like the next day I started working on like, okay, cool. Let me market this thing. Let me take on some new barbering clients at the time. Let me work with these people. And I slowly started working with more one-on-one people, started slowly like scaling that up to, I think I had like 16 one-on-one clients. And that got too hellacious to do. And then I transitioned at that point in time to like the group coaching model in like 2020 when everything was shut down during that wild time. And then kind of just took off from there and just started like really building it, scaling up with the coaching model. I've been doing that since for like 4 years now, honestly.
Dude, that's such a good story. Like it brings you through so many different things. And like, I mean, I can hit on multiple things that you said, but I think one of those big realizations is number one, is I think everyone, it's like a prerequisite in the online space to like try to start a marketing agency.
Facts.
It's like we've all done it. It's like we've been there. But you know, it gives you that opportunity to figure out, okay, this probably isn't for me.
Yep.
And then the other thing too is, you know, I've been talking to a lot of creators recently, and a big thing that's been coming up is they're saying like, hey, like I'm doing these brand deals or working with affiliates or whatever, you know, monetization, and they're not making the money that they want because it's like it's not their thing. They're making like pennies for doing affiliate deals. But you know, with someone like you, where you can create an offer around something that not only you're passionate about, but that you're good at, and like it was your story, like it just makes you so much more convicted in like what you can do, like the people that you can help. And then, I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but I know for me, it's like I get to wake up and make videos all day, and it's what I love doing. So it's like I never feel like I'm working, you know?
1000%. And I think that was like the main thing with the marketing agency too. I just did it because it was something like that somebody told me I could make money doing, but I didn't really make money because I wasn't passionate about it. I didn't know the ins and outs. And like barbering, I knew in and out like the back of my hand and like how to scale and run a barber business and like social media. And like that right there was like, as soon as I saw the direct relationship of like the value I could provide to people and like getting rewarded for that value. And I was like, oh, this is a no brainer for me, right? Like, let me ditch this thing immediately. So
Yeah. Cool. So what are maybe a couple main things, like if a barber's listening to this, like what would you say to them is like they're kind of where you were, right? They're not making the money that they want to, and you know they don't have that runway to, okay, I'm not gonna have enough for a family and a house and things like that. What would you give as like maybe 2 or 3 things that they can take, you know, step 1, step 2, step 3 to ultimately see success, or at least start making more money?
yeah, I think the first thing, number one, I feel like that you could either flip flop 1 and 2. Like, let's just say number 1 is like actually have a concrete like goal or vision of what you want your life to be like. Because I think for myself at the time, I never thought or dreamed I could like build the life I wanted to build. Like back in 2016, prior, like when I would charge $16, I just didn't think it was possible. And it was because I just didn't have that vision of like, okay, can I achieve this? What do I actually want as well too? I was kind of playing like that humble game a little bit. And I think the second thing comes into it with like having a good relationship with money. You know, I think before I had a terrible relationship with people who had money, who made money, who were rich. I just thought like guys like Jeff Bezos and like Steve Jobs were like these evil guys. And instead, like my worldview had to shift to like, no, these guys are providing so much value and they were getting rewarded for it because of their hard work and efforts. They're not like, and I think that's like what a lot of barbers struggle with is like, you know, we didn't grow up with a lot. We didn't see a lot growing up overall. And so that relationship with money is kind of like it's a touchy one, to be quite honest with you. It just takes, for me, it took a lot of education, a lot of reading books, a lot of like, okay, like questioning my belief system. I know it's like very woo woo, but like that's what really helped me. I think when I work with barbers, you know, I still see a lot of that part of them, part of me in them as well too. And I really try to hard and grain, like, look, you know, we are a business at the end of the day, right? Business, you're in business to make money, to be able to provide a better future for your family, for your kids, and for yourself. Of course, we're in the space of like servicing others, and that comes hand in hand with it. But that does not mean you should not get rewarded for all of your efforts that you put into it.
Mm. Yeah. And I mean, you touched on, barbers, but I think that's anyone, like anyone that's transitioning from something where, maybe they're a 9 to 5 or whatever. It's just a lot of times they're not in those environments that, like you said, kind of rewards the people for, the outcome that the outcome that they're able to get from somebody else. So, I think, like you said, it's, maybe woo woo, but it's more just like environment, getting around the right people. And I'm sure that's probably a huge reason why barbers that come through your program see success, is because they get around other barbers that are making more, that are showing that it's possible. And more important than that is like, you're showing that there's a tangible result at the end, and there's people that are paying big money for that for a reason,
100%.
through confidence, through, looking better, whatever the end result that they're trying to buy. So that's huge, I think. So, okay. So where was the point where, cause you're starting your coaching client, bringing more people one-on-one. So where did you find us? Like, where did you find STA in that process?
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, so I was in a coaching program with Sam Ovens. So I did Accelerator, Up Level, and then I was in Quantum at the time. And so I was working with Sam and the team. And I remember, at that point in time, I was running everything by myself. I was doing all the sales, doing all the marketing, doing all the I ran through everything DM. So I was doing all the DM settings as well too. And I was like, man, if I really want to get to the next level, like, Sam always talked about systems, hiring a team. And I was like, I have none of those whatsoever. So, of course, the topic of like, hey, where do you find good sales reps came up on a Q&A call. And he just was like, dude, if you guys need sales reps, if you guys need help in sales, whatever, Cole Gordon is the guy, right? Like Closers.io is the place to go to. And so for me, I was like, cool, no brainer. If Sam's saying this, found you, like I'd seen you guys on ads before, right? And I'd seen all the ads popping up, and I just wasn't in the headspace to actually hire a closer. But once he said that, I was like, cool. I actually went to try and find an ad. I remember going on YouTube and just watching a bunch of random videos to finally find an ad. And then I opted in. And as soon as I opted in, like it was done deal after that. Cause I was like, cool, I'm getting this thing. I'm locking in.
Yeah. Sam already pre-sold you. So it wasn't hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Okay. So you end up jumping in. It sounds like it was an easy sale for whatever, whoever ended up bringing you in. So what was your, I guess, experience kind of like, you jump in maybe first, I don't know, a couple days to a week. What was kind of that ramp up period for you?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, what blew me away, it was like right from the get go, right? I remember, because it was Temple Naylor. I'm still really cool with Temple as well too, who did my call, and then he introed me to my account manager Igor. And immediately, like, it was probably within the first 5 minutes, Igor hits me up, sends me a voice memo, how excited he is. I already have a call booked with him. And just that whole onboarding process, I'd never been through something like that where I could tell you guys actually cared and like actually like talked about like, okay, cool, how are we going to set up to make the customer journey, customer experience really A1? And then of course, hopped on a call Igor. I remember just that first call, like the guy, I could tell he just wasn't like, all right, cool, we're here to get down to business. He was that, but he just genuinely cared about me. He genuinely wanted me to succeed. And cared about me as an individual. I think at that time I had already hired on a closer, but he wasn't that good. And transparently, even Igor pulled me aside. He's like, "Hey, this guy's not that good because you're not that good at sales. So let's go ahead and like let's kind of ramp down and let's focus on you getting really good with sales." And transparently, I was not that good either. Like I was like looking back, it was like night and day. And like for the next like 6 to 8 months, it was like every single day I was just on call, send him call reviews. And it was, I love that feedback loop. So I'd never gotten something where I could like take an action, send it to somebody like an account manager or someone, ask a question, get direct feedback, and then go on the next call or whatever it may be, and then implement and get a better result. And I was kind of just blown away by like that tight feedback loop and how tight your guys' communication was overall with as a company. And then after that, obviously started hiring on more sales reps and training them up. And obviously Igor and your guys' team as well too, trained me up phenomenally well, because I transparently also had no clue how to lead a team at that point, right? It's my first go around. So, I think everybody gets into it like, oh, I want a closer, want this, want that. But it's like, Okay, but how are you as a CEO actually like coaching your team up? How are you showing up every single day? How are you running sales meetings overall? Make sure the team is actually growing and building and staying together as well too. That way you can actually build a good foundation.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's funny because we're known for like setters and closers and sales teams, but a lot of times like 80% of the time people come in, they don't even need that. Like it's like we use that to get people in, and it's like, hey, like we'll help you find salespeople, but like, are you a good salesperson? Are you a good leader? Are you just really all the things he said? So, good on you for, not having the ego to be like, oh no, I just need like a setter, but like, okay, cool. Let me be a good leader and learn to lead myself. So that's huge. So, obviously a big thing that people are always wondering, numbers, like, where were you before and after? So I guess just two sides of the coin. So where were you like revenue wise when you jumped in, or we'll talk cash too, when you first jumped in, and then what were some like byproducts of that, more on like a personal level or like business growth level?
Okay. So when I came in, I was doing about 100K a month. But again, too, this was me. I had one team member, which was a DM setter. So it was basically me and my DM setter. He was setting calls to a sales call for me, 60-minute call. And I was just taking all the calls and building the program, doing all the Q&A calls, had no CSM, whatever. And then, of course, first we have to fix the sales side of things. We improved on that, so I got my. I think I was at highest maybe like 140 cash collected on my own, just running it as me as the closer. Then we started bringing on hiring
Which is
on
that's
and training
solid.
up.
Like,
Yeah,
sorry to cut you off. I mean, that's just solid. Like, if you and the DM setter, 140K, you doing everything, like, good job to getting to that point.
yeah. It was very like I mean it was just ground and pound work, man. Like it was just every single day just going to attack, and like I wish like honestly like Yegor really set me on a good like mental pathway of just be the best. And I wanted to be the best too. I was waiting for someone to like pour into me, teach me everything of sales, show me where my faults were at. Like as much as of like of caring and like of nurturing he did of me as a closer and a leader, he was also gave me everything I needed to be as hard as me as possible, like to push me. And he still does to this day as well too, to push me to that next level, to never settle. And that's what I really appreciate about like him as just a coach and an account manager. And then of course, obviously we brought on like after that, we brought on a couple closers, trained those guys up. Right now, we are currently sitting at 2 closers, looking to bring on a third closer. We have 2 triagers. So we flipped our model from like, DM to sales call. Now we're doing a 15-minute triage call. That was again too. I was even hesitant to do that because I was like, I don't know how this is gonna work. Igor is like, all right, we're gonna train these guys up. We're gonna
Yeah.
build your process in. That went way smoother than expected, to be quite honest with you. And then we got a couple DM setters as well too, and we have 3 or 4 CSMs at the current moment in time. So right now, my job is just like leading, managing the team, developing the team as well too. I'm not really on sales calls whatsoever. And right now, currently, we're doing anywhere between 250 to 300K cash collected months right now. Yeah.
Let's go, dude. So almost basically a 3x increase from what you came in. And, I think, a lot of people try to really push on like, oh, we're making more money. Like 3x is great. But I mean, even what you just said is like, you don't have to do the sales calls. Like you can just focus more on like the high level stuff, management, leadership. And, I'm sure that's huge, not only from like a time standpoint, but also just like your own mental health of not having to bang on the phones 8 hours a day. So what
Yeah,
are,
I was about to say it's more from a sanity aspect too, right?
yeah.
Because like at the end of the day, you could be taking all the sales calls you want, but it's like, what are we really building here? You can build to me, it just felt like after I got to a level, it's like, all right, I have a job still. Let me actually transform myself into CEO of the company. So
Any other like big takeaways that obviously sales and that type of stuff, but any other like big takeaways that you can really point back to over the last, because jumped in and you said 2021, so we've been I mean, you're in 8-figure boardroom, been in for a long time. So any other key takeaways that you can point on over the last couple of years?
yeah, I think for me too, like obviously I talked about like the DMs. We did a lot of things organic, right? And I've tried ads. I've done YouTube ads. I did Facebook ads even before I worked with you guys as well too. Nothing really worked, to be quite honest with you. And we didn't really start going back into ads and really start. I think it was this past December, because it was like, all right, we have a good team. We know where the threshold's at with DMs overall. Let's start building the next system of acquisition of like getting clients in, getting leads in. And I'm gonna be honest, I had very big hesitations, like I don't think this is gonna work, dude. Like I told you Gore and told Ammon as well too. I was like, dude, I don't know, man. Like I've tried it before. We could try it, but I don't have that high hopes. It's just never worked. And I think it was like literally like I remember getting on a call with Ammon, and it literally took like one meeting with Ammon. We wrote up some ads. He told me exactly what ads, how to set up the ads, how I should run them to be optimized for what I was doing at the time and still am doing. And month one they worked. I think I had a 3x ROAS month one, I think 4x ROAS month two.
Let's go.
And so we're really just trying to double down on that. And for me, the biggest breakthrough was like understanding like because again too, I felt like ads would only work, let's say for like a biz op or like one of those offers overall. I was like, oh, my offer is so different. It's not, ads don't work. People don't respond to them. And that mentality completely got blown out the water like month one. I was like, okay, maybe I just got to keep on listening to these guys, keep on following the thread of whatever their information they're giving me and tell me to do, just do it.
Yeah. So not to backtrack too far, but so that first 100K, that was all organic from your following, yeah?
Correct.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, I mean, I think anyone that's listening to this, I think that's a great testament of like, organic's good. And dude, I've built my entire career off organic. So like, I love it. But it's like, if you're really looking to scale like today and not 3 years from now, it's like when you're doing it all organically is you're kind of hostage to how quickly can you gain followers. And,
Yep.
it's not as easy as it was, let's say in 2020, 2021 to for videos to go viral like they used to be. So just more predictable through ads. So I guess last couple questions. I mean, what would you say to someone that's on the fence of working with us? Like they see a ton of other sales recruiting people or sales trainers. And what would you say to someone to be like, Cole Gordon's team, Closers.io, like hop in with them?
Yeah, I think before I give you, because I could talk praise about you guys all day long. Like my belief of like how I've just like gone into anything, and I've done a lot of different coaching programs, is like I won't know what the result is unless I just do it. And even the coaching programs I have done in the past outside of closers, right? That I look back on them and I kind of think of like, you know what, they were not the best overall like things, like to like best structure, like wherever it may be. I always took away one thing that either like doubled 5x or 10x my business. So there's always something in everything, in my opinion, and I, like it's up to the individual. I always take accountability on myself of like, I just have to find the value. The value is in there, right? I just have to be able to find and take one thing. If I take one thing away, the investment, whatever it may be, it like pays for itself and gets me one step closer. And even if it's just one thing and like 30 other bad things, 30 other bad directions to not go in of. And you don't have to waste any mental time, any mental energy in going down or searching or researching that stuff. And you put your mental energy on like, what are the next things for me to get to? So that's what I'd say first. And the reason why I would also like, I always give you guys big ups. Like anybody who asks me, hey, what is the best, like, in terms of like coaching company or like how should I run my ads, anything whatsoever, I always push them to closers. Main reason, you guys get the results. Number one, right? You guys have the results in the track record. That you had so much social proof. You also have longevity. Right. And I think that speaks volumes, especially in like let's say an education space, on the online space. Like there's a lot of fly by night like companies, and like Cole Gordon has been around for like ages. I don't want to like date him, but he's been around for a while. Right. And he's been doing this.
He's a dinosaur. You can say it.
It's not insult at all. Cole Gordon's my guy. Right. But like at the end of the day, like he's been around and seen everything from like, 5, 8 years back, and like has seen the market transform itself, and he has so much experience, and that speaks for itself. Number two, in my opinion, like all of you guys care, like legit. I come out to the boardroom events, or I stay in boardroom because like number one, of course, the results, but two, you guys just really care about your customers, and I've never experienced that in any type of coaching company, whether it be at 8-figure boardroom, whether it be Yegor, like Ammon or Jimmy or anybody reaching out to me anytime I need any support on anything. You guys are very responsive and always take really good care of my company. And also too, take really good care of my team members. That's what I actually really appreciate the most, right? All of my team members, my sales guys, my triage guys, whoever, whenever they hop on, like, let's say a Q&A call with you guys always service them. You guys always give them the best value. You guys always push them to be better in their role, and also better people as well too. And I think that's like second none to me overall, like results, and then just who you are as a company, as people in general, like the culture you guys have built. Like I'm just always like a big fan of you guys, always a big fan of how you guys operate and run things, whether it be in person or online. I can't speak highly enough of you guys. I would just say, like, look, if you're on the fence, I would say there's nothing worse than like waiting 6 months on and then doing it and then realizing you should have done this 6 months ago. And this is one of those things, in my opinion. Like everybody should always go ahead and just take the jump, do the damn thing, and like actually like invest. And I'm willing to bet again too, you'll get into this thing and you'll be nervous as typical, as usual, like when you're doing anything new, but like you'll look back on that and be like, damn, that was actually probably one of the best investments I ever made. Cause I always look back at that. I'm like, that was like one of the altering, I don't want to say life altering, but like company altering decisions I made was to join eight-figure, not eight-figure boardroom, but closers, and then join eight-figure boardroom as well too.
Let's go, dude. That, yeah, I mean, obviously I'll speak for all of us and say, you know, we appreciate it. And that's what we try to do. Like Cole obviously wants to bring in people that are able to kind of keep that bar super high. And we want to do the same thing for every person coming in. So, dude, I want to be respectful of your time. Thanks so much for jumping on here. I will do, I'm going to do like a little outro, but I want you to think of like one, maybe like tip or trick or someone either for a barber that might be listening to this or to like a business owner, just to help them kind of maybe get out of their rut, or just something that you would give to someone listening all the way through to this episode. So think about that. 30 seconds. I'll do this outro super quickly. But so those of you that are listening up to this point, you're probably at a spot where you're like, okay, I need a setter, I need a closer, I'm trying to build my business. Like I'm in this specific spot. What I'm going to tell you to do now is click the link down in the description on YouTube or in the show notes on the podcast. And it's going to bring you to a video that really just breaks down pretty much how we do everything here at closers.io. And whenever we get on sales calls or, you know, consulting calls with people, is we really treat it like a consulting call. It's like, if you jump on a call with us, we're going to give you an action plan and then talk about what it'd be like for, you know, for you to work with us, but also how you can just literally get off that call and go do it yourself if you want to. But, you know, obviously we'd love to have you and, you know, join in, book a call, click the link down below. So yeah, what did you got for the beautiful people listening in?
Yeah, I think the one thing, like whenever you're running a business, whether you're a barber or even a business owner running an online business or just starting, it can be very daunting every single day to kind of look up and just see the piles of work that's in front of you and the distance that's between you and where you want to get to. The one thing I would say is no matter where you're at in your journey, in your process, in your career right now, just number one, show up every day with the intention of just getting 1% better every day. That's it. Like, don't look to make giant leaps and bounds every single day. Yes, you can make 100% improvements, but just look to make that 1% improvement every single day. Because if you do that over 365 days, that's 365 points of improvement over an entire year. That's way more than if you just like go on for quick spurts and then kind of like give up and quick spurts and give up. Just stay attacking every single day. Stay relentlessly audacious with your goals and don't put too much pressure. Just stay 1%. Keep that mindset. Get 1% better every single day. If you do that, you could rest well at night knowing you get your 100%. You made actual improvements on this thing.
Let's go, man. Well, Daniel, bro, I appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have to. I think at one of the next Cabo events, we're thinking about getting a big boat or something like that. So we'll have to keep in the loop there. But yeah, dude, thanks for coming on. We'll leave all the relevant links for Daniel down in the description, probably Instagram, YouTube, so you guys can go check out more of his stuff. And with that being said, thanks so much for listening to the Scaling Less Stupid podcast. Anything you need from us, let us know. We'll see you guys in the next one. Talk soon. Peace.